Everyone to Cells and Science Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Tansky. Today we're going to take a little deep dive into the structures of the cell and their functions related for each structure. So the structures of the cell have cell membrane, the nucleus, the mitochondria, cytoplasm, ribosomes, forgive my pronunciation here, lysome, DNA, and then we have the Golgi apparatus. That's a fun little outtake right there. All right. So what we want to do today, is help you understand what these functions are. You know, what makes them up, and we understand that can be a hard topic and it can be a complex one, especially with so many parts and so many moving parts going on in the cell. And we're gonna make this a lot easier for you. I'm gonna help you to see, what can we get? What can we help you achieve out of this? Now, personally, myself, I'm a biology student right now, taking Bio 101, and we were talking about the cell structure. And I thought, hey, let's, reach out to other people that might be struggling with this also. All right. So we're going to start off with the cell membrane. So the cell membrane is really, really important. It's the way to put it is, you have your cell, right? If I do this, okay? And now the cell membrane is what keeps it protected along the outside. All right. So if I'm looking at my notes here correctly, it's found in every single cell, that's in your body, everything that makes you up. It's there, all right? And it's the cell's real first form of protection. And it's really I want to say something, but it's the big one. It's the protection for your cell. As we know, there's a lot of important stuff that's going on in the cell, mitosis, all this stuff, which we get into, in another episode of the podcast, for sure. But yeah, so the cell membrane it's built like a wall, and its job is to protect and defend. It separates the interior of the cell, where everything's happening, and everything else is inside, from the outside environment to protect, bacteria and diseases and that kind of stuff getting in and infecting the cell. And let's see how the functions of the cell do and work properly. So now we're going to take a quick shift. We're going to go right into the nucleus here. So the nucleus, well, it seems like everyone's heard of the nucleus. Everyone think of a cell, nucleus, blah, blah, blah. Its main function, basically, you might not know, you know what the nucleus is, you don't know what its function is though. So it's the cell membrane that is enclosed within the cell, and it contains chromosomes. And there are areas, there are an array of holes and pores in the nuclear membrane that are allowing for the selective passages of certain molecules and, proteins, nucleic acid, to go in and out of the nucleus, which is a really important step in, your cells becoming you, and just biology in general. So next is the mitochondria. Now let's say, people, the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Everybody who's ever taken a biology course or knows even a little bit about biology seems to know the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. And obviously, that implies that it is the source of power that drives the cell. So to go a little bit more in depth into it, though, it is the membrane-bound, so to go into depth, it's a membrane-bound cell organelles, sorry if I'm pronouncing this wrong, organelles, or the mitochondrion, which generate most of the chemical energy needed to power the cell's biochemical reactions. And that is the powerhouse of the cell. So cytoplasm. We talked about it in our last episode, briefly. What is cytoplasm? So cytoplasm is actually the fluid that's inside the cell, but outside the cell's nucleus, right? And most chemical reactions do take place in the cytoplasm of the cell. Proteins. Who doesn't love good protein? Chicken, meat, everybody loves proteins. Speaking of proteins, we're going to move right into ribosomes, okay? And they do an important job. And a lot of people may overlook what ribosomes are doing exactly. But they're a structure found inside cells that is involved in making proteins. Ribosomes help link amino acids together to form proteins, and that helps, build up, power that mitochondria, or, do everything. Now, there are different forms of cells. And in a eukaryotic cell, there are lysomes. So lysosomes are membrane-bound or organelles, I keep butchering it, found in every eukaryotic cell. They are very widely known as the terminal catabolic stations that rid the cells of waste products and scavenge metabolic building blocks that sustain essential biosynthetics reaction and that happen during starvation. It's a lot. It's a lot going on there for lysosomes. We appreciate them. Thank you, lysosomes, for your service. DNA. I think we all know what DNA is. You know? What made you you? The DNA. And today, right now on this episode, I'm gonna just quickly talk about what I know. So DNA. The first thing I think of when I hear DNA is Bill Nye the Science Guy. I mean, that guy. What a generational influence and talent. Honestly, not people know what DNA is, but it makes up it makes all of us unique, and it's what separates us from others. But it's the molecule. Pardon my computer. It's actually the molecule inside cells that contains the genetic information responsible for the development and function of an organism. Now, DNA molecules allow this information to pass from one generation to the next. And I want to apologize quickly for saying DNA is what makes just us humans special. It's everybody. And fish, plant, you got DNA in you. I don't know. Do you? Probably, if you're listening to this. Let's start with the final thing. The Golgi apparatus, the thing I butchered before. So I had never heard of this, it feels like. I mean, I know it was briefly mentioned, way back, but hearing about this now, I never heard of this. So we're going to go into it. It's a very important part of the cell. So it's an organelle found in most eukaryotic cells. I'm probably butchering that's the name of that cell too, but we're going to go with it. So it's part of the endomembrane system in the cytoplasm, and it packages proteins into membrane-bound vessels inside the cell before the vessels are sent to their destination. So pretty important. Also forgettable. So guys, if you liked this episode, remember to follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and subscribe to us on YouTube. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for joining us on The Cells in Science. Peace.